This is BTC. As I have shared with everyone in previous analyses, BTC has formed a reversal candlestick pattern and a continuous upward momentum. And with this kind of candlestick pattern, we will see BTC continue to rise to test its previous lows. And today, BTC is still closing in green. We have about 15 minutes left until the candle closes. And with this candle closing pattern, BTC will continue to rise today, and we expect it to keep going up to test the 65,500 to 66,000 range, everyone. And it's highly likely that before it goes up to the 65,500 to 66,000 range, BTC will have a slight correction down to around 64,000. And this morning, we can start our entry around 64,000. And we continue to TP, take profit upwards to the higher zones, which are 65,500 and 66,000. And previously, regarding the monthly candlestick pattern, I analyzed for everyone with the monthly candle closing like this. In this August, it will continue to move up to the 67,000 zone to retest this low and go even higher towards the 68,000 to 70,000 range. So this month, we expect BTC to potentially reach the 70,000 USD level. Let's go back to the H4 timeframe to take a look. Yesterday, BTC also moved quite strongly, running from the 63,800 zone up to 65,000. On this daily candle, BTC is still in a very nice upward momentum. Therefore, we expect it to continue rising to the 65,600 to 66,000 zone. And within these 6 days, I expect it to test up to around 67,000, meaning for the monthly candle, we could see it rise to the 68,000 to 70,000 zone. However, on the daily candle, we see a high probability that it will retest the 67,000 zone, which is this peak area, and move up to the 60,000 zone. Then it will have a slight correction back to the 65,500 zone, after which it will continue to push up to 68,000, 69,000, and 70,000. Observing the H4 chart, we can see that previously it was still a green candle with quite strong upward momentum. At this moment, we can see it moving up to retest this peak here. If we pay attention, we will draw a line through this, everyone. Here we have a resistance line, and its resistance level is around 65,500, and it could be even higher, which is this peak zone at 65,800. And down here, we have a support zone at the 64,000 level. This morning, I expect it to retrace to somewhere around 64,000, and then it will continue to move up, breaking past this peak of 65,500 to 66,000. In parallel with that, let's look at USDTD on the H4 timeframe. On the H4 timeframe, we can see that USDTD has moved down to retest the low here, and it's highly likely that by testing this low, it will form a double bottom pattern. At this point, we can see a high probability that it will move up and retrace. And for USDTD, I am expecting it to retrace to somewhere around 8.42 to 8.45%. Here on the H1 timeframe, we can see that USDTD has formed consecutive Dragonfly Doji reversal candles, reversing the trend right here, and there is a confirmation candle here confirming that it will rise again. Therefore, USDTD on both the H1 and H4 timeframes has met the conditions to continue moving upward. If we look closely here, we can see that on the H1 timeframe, USDTD is in a structure of lower highs and lower lows, everyone. I expect it to rebound to 8.4 to 8.45. That is a zone where I expect USDTD to rise to, and it will reach this point. If it continues to follow its structure of lower highs, it will continue to drop to the 8.3% and 8.25% zone. Therefore, this morning, our view must still be a long view, everyone. Because the daily candle of USDTD, look here, everyone, it is still in a bearish view. Okay, everyone? It continues to decrease, and today we expect USDTD to have a slight rebound to 8.4% to 8.45%, and then it will continue to drop to the lower zone of 8.25% or 8.3%, okay? With that view, we see that BTC must continue to rise this morning. As it rises, we expect to be able to catch it at the support zone of 64,000, and we will continue to take profit at 65,500 and 66,000. With the daily candle looking like this, it must continue to rise because the momentum on the daily chart is still quite strong. If it pulls back, it will only be a short distance, everyone. It could be 64,300 or 64,000. We will be flexible to see which zone it is, everyone. Let's go back to the H1 chart to take a look. On the H1 chart, we can see it moving up to this low, testing the peak above. It hasn't touched the 65,300 zone yet, but it has already tested this peak, everyone, and it has formed a trend reversal candle, okay? This looks like a hammer candle, a small hammer candle. And here we see a confirmed pattern. So there's a very high probability that BTC will retrace to this peak zone, which is 64,300, and even deeper to 64,000. And this is the zone that we will be observing. If it pulls back to this point and manages to hold, we will see it continue to rise to the 64,500 to 66,000 range. On the H1 time frame, it is still in a structure of higher highs and higher lows that I previously drew for you all. It is in a structure of higher highs and higher lows, and if it pulls back here, it is simply retesting the support zone. After that, it will continue to move up to a new high range of 65,500 to 66,000. So this morning, our view on the daily candle for BTC or USDTD is that we still see BTC continuing to rise. In the short term, specifically on the H1 time frame, it is highly likely that it is just retesting the support zone, which is this 64,000 area. So after it tests this support zone, if it continues to hold and forms a reversal candlestick pattern here, we will open long positions and continue to take profit at the 65,500 and 66,000 levels. Everyone, okay? Meaning there are two zones it will return to. This peak zone at 64,350. The second zone is 64,000. So we will observe these two zones. So that's BTC. What about ETH? We will take a quick look at ETH on the daily candle, everyone. Regarding ETH, I have analyzed it with you all before. We can see that right here. That is the 1840 zone, which is its very strong support zone. And we have had some very nice long positions from here. Currently, we can see that ETH closed today's daily candle as a green candle with very strong momentum, and it has already run up to 1927. And we see a high probability that ETH will have a slight correction today. This morning, I expect ETH to have a slight correction, first to this wick, which is 1897, or to this support area here, 1882. And I think it will continue to go up from one of these two areas. Above here is the H1 resistance zone. Right here, the H1 of ETH at this peak has tested this area again, and we can see it has formed a reversal candlestick pattern here. Do you see it? It has a reversal candlestick pattern, a reversal doji, and consecutive reversal pairs, and then it accepted this level. And when a reversal candlestick pattern forms at the resistance zone, it indicates the weakening of the buyers and that the sellers are starting to gain the upper hand. On the H1 chart, we can see that this peak, 1897 or 1882, those are the two zones that I expect ETH to return to. And it is highly likely that it will return to this 1882 level and then continue to run up to higher zones, 1940 and 1980. Everyone. So for ETH or BTC on the H4 or daily time frames, they are still in an uptrend. Therefore, if it corrects downwards this morning, it is merely a correction to continue the upward trend. Meaning it creates those weak rejection candle patterns, just like yesterday. You can see yesterday here. When this candle closed, before it continued to rise, it created a downward wick. It was the same before and the same before that too. And I think today will be the same. After this daily candle closes, it will have a downward wick and then continue to rise. And for this ETH, it's highly likely we'll see it reach the 1960 and 1980 zones. Everyone, take note. All of my analyses and opinions are personal, and you should not consider them as investment advice. Please take responsibility for your own investments, everyone. And that is my analysis of BTC and ETH for this morning. If you find this helpful, please click subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to receive new videos every day. And I would like to reiterate for BTC this morning on the daily candle, the bullish momentum is still quite strong, and we expect it to reach new highs, specifically 65,500 and 66,000, which is highly likely. Looking further ahead, we can see it testing 67, 68, and 70, which would be normal, everyone. And this morning, where should we wait to catch BTC? We will wait to catch BTC at the 64,000 zone. If we can get in at 64,000, meaning when it pulls back to the 64,000 zone and forms a reversal candlestick pattern, we will open a long position here and set our stop loss a bit below, right here at 63,600, everyone. And if we take profit, we will take profit at the 65,500 and 66,000 zones, everyone. And for ETH, we will have entry points to enter the trade, which is 1,883. I think the area where it returns to this peak, 1,898, 1,897, it will easily return to. I think we should wait at this 1,883 zone. If it can reach here, we will observe if it holds up well and continues to form a reversal candlestick pattern here. That is when we will enter the trade and we will take profit at its nearest peak, 1,930, 1,960, and 1,980. And we will set our stop loss a bit below here at 1,963. In all long or short positions, we should always have a stop loss point to limit unnecessary risks. Here, why is that? This is a pump and dump market. It can rise and fall very sharply. It can rise very sharply or fall very sharply, so we need to have a stop loss point to preserve our capital. Is that clear? And of course, when we place trades, we should only use 1 to 2% of our capital per trade, and we can split it into 2 to 3 entries every one. So for this morning, regarding ETH, I expect to enter a single trade at the 1882 zone with a stop loss at 1867 every one. And for BTC, I will also just enter one trade. I won't split it into two. For that one trade, I will enter at 64,000 and I will set the stop loss somewhere around 63,600 every one. And we will take profit at 65,600 for one order and 66,000 for the other. That's the second take profit target.